What is going on, everybody? It is Brave Cat here once again, and I'm here in probably a very unfamiliar program here. We ain't in Minecraft right now, but this is Earthquake 3D. I've been kind of into earthquakes and seismology and stuff for a while. But anyways, I thought I'd go ahead and give a little intro lesson, I suppose, into Earthquake 3D. This program is made by Richard Wolton. I'll have a link down below for the source on that. It's only $20. It's not a subscription. It doesn't have all that nonsense. You just pay for it, and bam, you can look at earthquakes. So anyways, why is this so important? Well, let's take a look at the last 7 days of earthquakes. Yeah. So if you see here, well, especially when we go over here, this is the last 7 days of earthquakes. And I mean, if you're not, if you've never seen this before, you probably don't really know what you're looking at. Or, whether or not this is actually a lot of earthquakes or not. I mean, yeah, this absolutely is a lot of activity going on. And there's volcanoes and stuff too. If we just look here, this is Hawaii. And if you know anything about Hawaii, it has been having eruptive activity. Same thing with a lot of volcanoes all around the Pacific and, the Ring of Fire is what it's called. But anyways, I thought I'd just make this right here. I was just looking at it, like just now, and I noticed down here a new 6.8 magnitude earthquake. If you've ever heard of earthquakes happening over the news, you know that a 6.8 is pretty big, pretty big earthquake. Let me turn off the spin because that's kind of annoying. So I'm just gonna give you kind of a earthquake 3D 101, the 101. Sorry, I'm a little flustered here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I'll explain some things here in a second, but when you click on an earthquake, it brings you to the agency that reported it. So here we have the USGS reporting the 6.8 in the Vanuatu region, and this is in the middle of the ocean. And if you know anything about that, large earthquakes in the ocean means tsunami. And this happened like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes ago. Not even, maybe. So it's still really fresh. These are the two buoys we would be looking at. The earthquake was like right here-ish. Here's Vanuatu. So these two buoys I'm going to be taking a look at, kind of monitoring them because, maybe warn some of the Australian friends over there because, yeah, tsunamis are bad. Who would have thought? So anyways, let's go back here. Just as a little reference here, down here between the southern tip of South America and Antarctica, a 7.5 earthquake struck more than a couple weeks ago at this point. It was a while ago, but also pretty recent at the same time. So we've been seeing more activity, so I've been paying attention to it a lot more because it seems pretty important, don't you think? So anyway, let's just kind of go over some things here if you want to use this software or if you just want to know what you're looking at right now. These rings here are just a visualization. And by the way, just a disclaimer, this is all just for educational purposes. The rights fully belong to the maker of this program. Anyways, so these rings here, they're just a visualization. It doesn't mean that everything in this region can feel the earthquake. In fact, a lot of these are smaller quakes here. Well, okay, these are 4.8, 4.9. But like over here, this 4.4 or some of these 3s, you're not really going to feel a 3 or a 4. But it's still important to look at all the data. So you see these ones that are raised high off of the globe. Those are deep earthquakes. So if we just click on one of these here, As you can see, 590-kilometer depth. That's pretty deep. It's a pretty deep earthquake, I must say. And so things in white are going to be more recent. Things in red are going to be older. And we have the date scroller here. This is 7 days. What we had it at was like 2-3 days. So just a reference there. So yep, up here, if you heard anything about Kamchatka, or this peninsula here that's off of the Russian continent, we had a large, what was it, like an 8.8 or something that big, struck over here. Around the similar time that the 7.5 struck down here, so yeah, there's been multiple very large earthquakes at this point happening just in the last like 30 days. So, you know, that's kind of why I'm making a video, because it's like, there's stuff going on, Sorry, I'm not trying to be too sarcastic. Oh, okay, let's just, so you have this feeds button here. You can look at the different agencies that report earthquakes. So we're going to go to Australia, for example, since, you know, this just struck right off the east side, and I would imagine there is going to be a tsunami warning, but I haven't seen one issued yet. But so anyways, yeah, we've been seeing lots of activity all along this entire plate boundary. Everything, all these red lines here are the main plate boundaries here. So, you know, we got the one going up the west coast. You know, it stretches over here, splits off. You know, they're just kind of doing their thing, moving around. So here's the Australian feed. Just kind of gives you an idea of, you know, we have all this activity on the plate boundary, but here, you know, it's not as much. And yeah, there's stuff, you know, there's fives going all the way across the plate. 5, 5, 5. Then we have the 6 that's in here. 5, 5, 5. These are all 5s. And we can even go back to, let me put this over here. We can even go back to the USGS feed, because that has most of them. Put it on 7 days, and then we can take the magnitude up to only show us 5s-ish, 4.95, same thing. And so yeah, this is showing pretty much everything 4.9 and greater, it looks like. And so yeah, that's, I mean, even just for that, there's a 6 up here. Yep, that struck a few days ago. So yeah, we got 5s and 6s just popping off. Deep earthquakes. Sorry, this is meant to be just like an instructional basic 101 tutorial, but since there's actually a lot of stuff going on, yeah, a little bit scatterbrained. But you can do a lot of things with this program. You got plenty of options here. You have different views here, so we're clicked on that one. You can look at, there's a different view. I don't really like, the one I'm using is the one that I like using. Then we got 3, it's all red and purple, it's like vaporwave or something. But, you know, I mean, depending on, I guess, accessibility options or color blindness or whatever your preference is, I suppose. And you can even customize these too and have your own overlays. This one is kind of broken, okay? You got another view, or if you just want to look at maybe highlights of different geological features, these different views are good for that. Let's take a look at the rest of these here. You got like this, that's kind of cool actually. Kind of like that. Okay, here's the vaporwave look. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So yep, there's that. Okay, whoa, hey, whoa, hey. What are you doing? They just downgraded it to a 6.4. Interesting. Well, I'm not really gonna get too involved with that, but really? Yeah, no, it was a 6.8 when I looked at it. Now all of a sudden, oh, it's just a 6.4. Okay, okay, okay. Maybe I think we're getting a little too sassy right now, but let's take a look at these other views. This one you can like see through it. Kind of weird. What's this? Ooh, that's kind of pretty. I haven't actually looked through all these, by the way. I found the one I liked and I stuck with it. That's kind of cool. Oh wow. Okay. That's kind of nice to look at. I like that. That's kind of nice for looking at ocean earthquakes, The rings are a bit smaller. This one, this is just the one I like though. You see all the plate boundaries. It's nice and colorful. Well, anyways, let's just kind of continue messing with this here. You got all these other options here. You can turn off the rings, you can hide the magnitude, or you can show the depth, which I don't really know. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, you can see these deep earthquakes here, 589, 590, 568. A lot of really deep ones. But you can, I'm not sure what that does. Shell, I'm not really sure what that means. Angle, couldn't tell you. I don't know. So let's just keep it where it was. You can toggle even more stuff here. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh yeah, this is where I found the plate boundary one, so you can click on that. Interesting. Anyways, though, so you got the different feeds, you got some options, you got different sliders you can mess around with. There's even like custom sound effects that you can have when a new quake pops off. It's quite interactive. And this is showing pretty much everything. We have a bunch of twos. So these are mostly just like tremors. Like nobody can actually feel these tremors going on, but they're there. They're happening. Some activity going out to the kind of middle to eastern side. And then you have this. And then you have all this. It's quite a lot of stuff. But yeah, I'll be posting some updates here and there for this if anyone's interested. I sure am interested. I've been very curious about geology and seismology for whatever reason, right? And you can even look up earthquakes put it into Google Maps, Google Earth. So we're gonna try that here. Let's take what is this? This interesting little swarm here. In Idaho, Spencer, Idaho. These are all recent. I don't remember seeing these earlier. Yeah, these like just happened. Cause see, okay, there's this other stack of small tremors and quakes that's down in like Nevada. If we just click on one of those, we have some of those in Nevada. And I mean, these happen all the time. I'm not saying like, oh, you gotta be worried. It's this is just earthquakes, right? So let's go look this up. We can take these coordinates here and go to Google Earth. And just punch them right in. And it takes us up into Idaho, like the very edge of it. And then you can just kind of be like, oh, okay, this is where the earthquake happened. It's kind of cool. You can see the lay of the land here. We got some beautiful mountains and other scenery. It happened kind of like right along this little creek bed here. Yeah, you can just kind of look at that stuff and see what's going on, if you know what I'm saying. Well, anyways, I'm probably going to cut this off here. That's just kind of my little rundown here, but actually I am going to take a look at a couple other feeds here. We can take a look at the Europe feed. If you notice there's not a whole lot going on in Europe, well, let's change that. So yeah, here's what's going on in Europe, and this also stretches all the way up into Greenland, Iceland, all those northern countries. Oh wow. Okay, so there was actually a 5.2 that also just struck. I actually just looked this up a little bit ago. It's right off of Greece. See, you also get to learn a lot of geography too. Okay, this is the European feed. It doesn't really take you directly to the earthquake. You have to look at it here, but oh wow, look at this. So yep, it's got the Vanuatu 6.4. And that 5.2. Let's just get rid of those. So yeah, I'm not really too big of a fan of the European feed because it doesn't take you directly to the earthquake that you clicked on. You just have to look through all the other ones, which I guess if we just click on this, right, it should take us to something. So yep, 37 kilometers northeast of Athens, Greece. A 5.2, which is pretty sizable. I mean, even a 5.2 could cause a reasonable amount of damage. Looks like it was like just off of the, like right at the edge right there. We got a couple of little aftershock tremors already popping in. Yeah, I said I was going to wrap this up, but there's actually more we can look at here. So, oh wow. There's another large stack of small quakes. I mean, there's a 4.4. There's a few 4s in there. There's a 4.9. And this is in Western Turkey. Okay, I'm not really a fan of this again, but as you can see, Western Turkey, there's quite a few of those listed in here. But yeah, you can, kind of, I've been able to learn a lot of geology, or geography rather, just learning different places around the world and names for different areas, and you get to be intimately familiar with the all sorts of stuff, so let's see, that's the European feed. There's some stuff going on there. That's mostly, like, between those three feeds that I just showed, that's going to be most of it. I mean, we can go to Italy. It's going to be, it looks the exact same. I don't think that changed even at all. Let's just double check. So we go to the Euro feed. Okay, it updated. And then let's go to the Italian feed. Yeah, it didn't change at all. So yeah, that's what I mean. I think the Australian feed, the USGS, and the Euro feed is pretty much going to give you the whole picture. You can go to the Russian feed. That's going to, again, show you a lot of the same things. There was, just over a week ago here, this is Afghanistan, where these big red circles are here. We can just kind of tone that back so we just see that. So yeah, this 5.2, there was a 6 magnitude earthquake that struck here just over a week ago, and that killed a bunch of people. Like, it was bad. Like, it's not to be messed with. And since then, we've just been seeing all these aftershocks here, 4s and 5s. Oh, there's the 6. When did that happen? It was about a week ago, maybe. Okay, this is the Russian site. It looks even more bare bones and hard to look at. But you got the date, the coordinates, the depth. Yeah, not very useful compared to this, where you kind of just takes you straight to the earthquake and you can actually see things. Definitely do appreciate that. So if we just go back, actually, let's go to the USGS. I've been looking at the 2.5 and greater because that's, more relevant. But you can also look at the 0.0 and greater. which will show you more extensively the tremors. So yeah, this is not even, like, this is barely the past day. So if we take the last few days, I think my computer's about to lag out. Let's take it back to the whole week. Take it back to the whole week. And it's just covered. Oh my goodness, I think my computer's gonna crash. Okay, yeah. So anyways, I think that'll do it. Okay, we'll just kind of wrap it off there. Hopefully this is at least maybe a little bit entertaining. If not, maybe informational. So anyways, though, I'll be having some other interesting ideas for this channel. Other than the music, other than this right here. Yeah, I'm actually going to have another video posted probably later today revolving me quitting vaping, and hopefully maybe inspire some of you if you guys are struggling. I've tried to quit vaping several times in my life, and it just hasn't worked out. But it's going to happen, so stay tuned.